gamers? What up? So, I accidentally woke up early, and here I am. So, let's stream. Since I'm planning to stream all my EP project walkthroughs on Saturdays. At least here in Taiwan, it's Saturday. So, here we are with my bedhead and my coffee. Let's see if the audio works. Noise. Check my guitar. Let's see. Gent rhythm. Oh. I haven't plugged my guitar in. I just realized I can't do it with my interface. I actually need to plug in my quad cortex. So I will be right back. But how y'all doing today? About to plug in my quad cortex. It'll be like, alright, there's one thing about the quad cortex that I don't like, is that the loading times for like booting up the actual unit takes like 10 minutes. I can like by the time you're booting it up, like it's you're on you're like doing sound check and booting it up, and it's like half the sound check's already done. But the price you pay for the tone, right? And another thing about the quad cortex I'm not a big fan of is the power supply is a little flimsy. But I'm pretty sure you guys can, if you guys are planning to get this, like you can sort of get any power supply that has this plug. It's a 12 volt 3 amp plug. And I'm pretty sure, like, as long as I don't know what size this is, and whether it's like center negative or center positive. It should be center negative. It's whatever this is. So focus. There it is. So I'm pretty sure you can use any power supply that supplies this amount of power. But yeah, alright, it's booting up now. All the lights are flashing, and I'll tell you guys when it's fully booted up. It's gonna be a hot minute though. The way I'm running my guitar now is I'm plugging my quad cortex in with XLR. So you guys are getting guitar audio without my beautiful voice getting cut out. Alright, let's see, what do I need? Ah, there you go. Now it's on. That maybe took like a minute, which is very, very long. But it do be like that. Guitar audio. Cool. Muting my speakers, so I guess we'll get started. Let me switch over. Oh, what the fuck? Ah, okay. Alright, cool. Switching over to headphones, so you guys aren't hearing like double. Alright, nice. So we'll get started with just running through the project once over, and then I'll start explaining. So I guess you caught a little bit of my bad slick single. So good on you. Staying tuned to my channel. Alright, where do I start with this? So, this song, I used this guitar. Hold on. I used my 7-string Schecter with the Lundgren pickups. This was one of the few songs where I actually used the 7-string, because the other ones I just down-tuned using a pitch shifter for any of the lower notes. But this song I actually used my 7-string and drop A. And this was very heavily inspired not only by C2A, but it was mainly inspired by, I wanted to make a song that was very reminiscent of Chimp Spanner. So that's why it's called Apes Together Strong, because chimps. I'm not sure if chimps are actually apes or if they're monkeys, but they're all primates, right? Right. I don't know. Not a zoologist. But either way, I was very inspired by Chimp Spanner to write something that's more rhythmic, like very drony, genty rhythmic guitars. Not a lot of like very complicated riffing. And like a lot of like more atonal stuff, but not really, because technically this isn't in any particular. I guess the overall key. What would the overall key be? Let's see. Guitar tune properly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an A Lydian most of the time. And yeah, so I just wanted something that was really drony, and that was like the main thing for this song. Again, very Chimp Spannery, a lot of synths, but actually I don't think I did that great of a job for the song, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest. And let me think, what else is there? I think, oh yeah, there's one little cool riff that I'll explain why I did it that way. But either way, let's start from the beginning. So initially I started with this riff. So that riff it's exactly the same like riff. It's just I transposed it a whole step down the second time. It's like basically that. And then for this riff, I actually don't remember the process. I was just thinking of like, what would Chimp Spanner do? What would Paul Ortiz do? And then that was the riff I came up with. It's just something super simple, very caveman-y, just playing around with octaves. And then I put it a whole step down the next time around because I feel like Chimp Spanner does do like, he's, at least from what I hear in his music, it's very jazzy. And I think I wanted to try personally as a challenge, because I'm not very much a person who likes to change keys. I just wanted to see if I can make something that flows even though it's not within the same key. This is something I always struggled with when I was soloing, because I used to be a huge Guthrie Govan stan. I still sort of am. But I always loved his playing, his approach to soloing, and just his vast knowledge of the fretboard. and like you can give him any chord progression, like literally anything, and he'd find a way to make it sound good. And I wanted to do something like that, though arguably whether I was successful in that or not, that's up to you guys to decide. But I thought it was pretty cool. My entire lead line is actually improvised, as you guys can see, a lot of comping. So like I would improvise an entire section, and then I would just cut pieces that I liked, and then some pieces that I felt weren't that I liked the melody of but wasn't super tight, I'd retrack. And I only did this because I wanted to try to improvise something, and also because I was on a time crunch. And I think this was the last song that I was tracking, because I got distracted by Departure like halfway through the song. Like I figured I was playing the Departure riff, and I ended up making that song in like 5 hours. Like the entire song was done within 5 hours, including mixing, I think. So I sort of got distracted by that. And then I only had like 3 hours left for this song before I had to release it, or like at least before I had to actually finish my challenge. So this was how I approached it. I basically, like, I knew I wanted a lead, like a proper like instrumental guitar track lead sort of vibe for this, and I just improvised everything. So I have no clue how to play the solos, but if I ever do want to play this live, I'll learn it for sure. But yeah, so basically this front section is the riff, and then it has the synths throughout the entire intro section, and then once I start soloing, it's just pads. And then the riff underneath the rhythm guitars is the same notes. Wait, no, it's not. It's the same key, like the same chords, implying the same chords, just simplified. So let's go ahead and listen to that part. Can't hear my voice. Really? Huh. Is it working now? Because I can see it in OBS. It's a little awkward. I've been talking the entire time. Let me double check. Huh. I can hear my voice. At least... Alright, cool. Magikarp, you can hear me talking. That's cool. Alright, let's go back to the DAW. Yeah, I think it might be difficult to hear my voice when there's DAW audio playing. And I know the chat's broken in this screen, but I am monitoring the chat. The chat. Sick song too, by the way. Thank you, Magikarp. I tried to mimic someone, but yeah. Well, let's go back into the verse section. Cool. So this first section here, I would probably consider it a verse. The version on YouTube doesn't have this top line. Yeah, the version on YouTube doesn't have that octave harmonized. This is again because I'm sending it out to get mixed and I thought if I'm gonna put it up on like Spotify or whatever, I wanted it to be a bit more polished, just a little bit. And yeah, I guess, I mean, if you guys listen to C2A, then you'll know that I completely ripped them off here. Right? So that, the C2A riff, like that chromatic rundown with a slide up. That's classic C2A. But yeah, I'm very much inspired by him. I respect like a lot of his music, and like just I know like the meme is that he's like a huge weeb, but I mean, like, respect for doing something that's completely new, at least in the metal space, right? Like at least for at the time when he was making like the anime EP, I felt like it was such a huge troll, but it sounded so good too. Was getting Intervals vibes. Yeah, I guess that like initial melody does sound a little bit like Intervals. It's very much like a vocal line. Like that's another thing that I wanted to like put into my soloing, my lead lines, is not just be noodling, but then again, like the rest of the entire time I'm noodling, so it's not exactly mission accomplished. But yeah, so I stole that from C2A, a little homage, and then I went to this really fast part, and then it goes into this riff. Let me solo out the riff because I think this is a pretty cool riff. All right, and this riff. So I was in the hotel room when I came up with this riff, like during my quarantine, and this riff is a little special because it came from a mistake. Like I was just messing around thinking of like what would go after. Oh, wait. Like just something super simple like that. What would go after that? And I figured that this would be like something like this would be pretty cool, where it's more of like a faster run. Hold on, let me charge my iPad because that's how I'm looking at your comments. There you go. But yeah, I wanted something that had like a tremolo picking like riff in it for the for what would lead up to the chorus. And I was just messing around with something, and then I accidentally hit that E while I was doing the slide. And when I accidentally hit that E, I was like, hey, that actually sounds really cool. Not to mention it sounds super like grungy. It has that like late 90s, early 2000s rock kind of vibe to it, which I was thinking like Chimp Spanner sounds like Monkey Wrench, right? Like it's sort of like a synonym for Monkey Wrench, which is a Foo Fighter song, which is very much like that early 2000s rock, punk, grunge kind of vibe. And then I just kept it in because it sounded sort of like that vibe. It actually sounds a lot like, what's that Nirvana song? Holy shit. I can't think of the name. Heart-shaped box. Is it heart-shaped box? It has that like heart-shaped box kind of riff, like. it has that like that kind of, is it like a dominant 7 kind of vibe? And yeah, so I kept it in. It sounded really cool. And then I just added the lead part afterwards. Like all the solo parts I only played once I actually got the song structure down, and I actually had like all the riffs done and all the drums tracked. I had everything done, and then I laid the lead parts on top. So after this, wait, no, here. I went into the chorus, and again, I wanted something that was super simple because I wanted the lead part to shine. I knew it like beforehand, so I just did some really simple chords and highlighted a few, because again, this is very much inspired by Chimp Spanner, and he does a lot of what would it be called? What's like the theoretical name? He highlighted, like he accented non-downbeats. So it'd be like here it's like God, like that kind of vibe. So against the click, it would be like. And then of course I added a pick scrape because, you know, I've been getting into a lot of Spirit Box. I just realized my camera's gone. Let me fix that, even though it's not that big of a deal. Pretty sure no one wants to see my face. But I want to be a proper streamer, right? Ah, there you go. It's back. Nice. All right, let's go back to the project. And yeah, pick scrape to end things, and then I went into the stupid like. Yeah, so this part was I don't know what I was thinking, but I wanted I think I wanted to do like something dumb. I wanted to do something funny, and this was what I thought of. Like, I don't even know how to like exactly play this riff because I literally just did like random taps, and it's sort of reminiscent of Periphery. There was a what is it called? I think it was from P1 where there was a riff that sounded like this. It was like a tappy part, and then it went to like something like that. I don't remember what the song was called. Was it Icarus Lives? Pretty sure it wasn't. Either way, I was very inspired by that part to put in something that sounded like that. It was just like really dumb. But it fit. I think it fit perfectly into like the dichotomy of this section and then the section after the next section, which is like just a jazz breakdown. But yeah, so this part, another interesting part about this is the drums. I think, let me double check how I programmed this, because I'm pretty sure I accidentally, yeah, okay. I see. That's why it sounded a little off, but at the same time, really cool. I completely forgot, and I'm pretty sure this is what happened. Yeah, so I accidentally set this part to triplet feel. So there's a few drums, like a few of the kicks actually don't line up with a 16 by 6 a 16th note grid like this one. and it made it sound like really cool actually. But actually, I didn't do that on purpose, like at all. Holy shit! All right. Yeah, so it's supposed to actually line up with the guitars on the third 16th note, but I ended up holy shit. Yeah, that doesn't perfectly line up. Does it? Oh, wait, it does. Huh, interesting. So I did do that on purpose. Or did I? Is it supposed to be here? Oh yeah. Yeah, there you go. It's supposed to be there. But for some reason I'm pretty sure I must have accidentally set it to like eighth note triplets and then accidentally hit the kick there. Holy shit. But yeah, it sounded really cool. So I think like the vibe it gave off, I didn't really go back and check because I didn't have time. And then once I actually bounced it down, it sounded cool. It sounded wrong, but it didn't sound too wrong. So I didn't go back and change it because I thought, that actually sounds really cool. So let's listen to that part again. Yeah, so that happened. Oh yeah, I think I remember that. I did like okay, I remember how I made the riff now. It's actually just slides. I'm not even tapping. But yeah, I wanted to go for that like whatever that periphery song kind of vibe is, and I just did like something like that. Holy shit. So yeah, this I could never replicate this live. I'll never be able to. But it'll be a fun breakdown if I ever get the chance to play it live. Either way, let's go to the next part. I knew that after that like stupid, really full section, I wanted to go to something that establishes like sort of a theme in the song. Well, not really a theme, but I wanted to calm down basically after that onslaught. And yeah, so I went into this chordy section. And initially, this part actually didn't have the tapping part. But I was thinking, what would Chimp Spanner do? And the tapping part came in. So let's listen to that with the tapping part again. And we'll move on to the next section. Because this section... Wait, let me think. How did I play that? Is basically just half notes up and down, but it's exact same pattern, so really nothing too interesting here. It's very much like a Dance Gavin Dance kind of tapping pattern actually, but yeah, let's listen to that with the tapping now. And yeah, for this section here, I ended up accenting the I think it's like the 8th note after the bar, just because why not? and then we'll move on to the weird jazz part. Yeah, so this part here. I think I just wanted like a very extreme dichotomy between the section before the chord break, like rest, like just a stupid part, and something that was super chill. And I ended up figuring out like, oh, I could just put whatever I want, eh? there are no rules when it comes to my solo EP. So let me listen to what I played. So again, I wanted to keep the same like vibe, so I actually went with, again, a half step transition. So this is just a C sharp minor 9, and then I went to a D minor 9, and then A major 7, and then I went up to, this would be what's B, it would be C flat, B sharp, whatever because I don't remember what key I'm in. But either way, I went 3 half steps up, I think, or 2 half steps. What would it be? A, up those notes. And I found that if you guys are ever stuck, like thinking of like, if you guys really want something that sounds pretty decent as a key change, just move up like 3 frets and play the exact same chord, and you guys would get like something that sounds pretty decent. Just basically following the diminished scale, but with chords. And at least that's the way I think about it, and it sounds pretty decent. Like, I don't know where I got this from. Pretty sure it's like an Animals as Leaders thing, but I did recall that I was using this sort of chord change even back in high school, because I thought it sounded cool, but I never knew like the theory behind it, and I still don't know why it sounds pretty decent to my ears. Maybe it's just me. But I went up there, and then I repeated the chord progression, and then I soloed over it. So let's see what I played for the solo. Yeah, I actually don't remember how I played this. Let me think. Okay, so this is a cool arpeggio. Oh, it's actually not that hard. So this is like the way I think of it. It's sort of like an, what would this be? It's a G sharp minor pentatonic, with a few extra notes. That's the way I'm thinking of like how I'm playing this. So there you go. And then I accent this note for some reason, which is sort of like a don't think so, but it's A, E major scale with a flat 6. And that's like the way I sort of thought of it moving on to the next chord. But I do want to preface something that with soloing, I never think of theory. I usually analyze after the fact. And I just basically go by feel. I think of a melody in my head, and I'll try to play it, and that's most of the time that's how it goes. Like, I'll just have the melody in my head. I never think of theory, and I think this is something that's very important, at least in terms of the concept of how to use theory. I don't think it should be a priority when you're writing. If it sounds good, it sounds good. So if you guys are studying music or whatever, like just whether it's studying in uni or looking up like Rick Beato videos or whatever, it's very important to keep in mind that music theory is just a tool. It's, if anything, it's more of a it's a communication tool for other musicians. That's why I'm like trying to analyze it like on the fly right now. But when I'm writing this and whenever I want to like figure it out, I never rely on theory to write. So yeah, a little nugget of wisdom for you all. But either way, let's listen to the solo again, because I sort of want to figure out what I was thinking. I did remember that I wanted... Okay, so the whole concept in this jazz section is I wanted it to be like you suddenly get transported to like a super chill like jazz cafe, like on the beach somewhere. And that was like the image I had in my head when I was soloing. And this is what came out. And I think I did a pretty decent job of like trying to mimic a jazz guitarist. And the whole vibe here is I wanted it to be very much like a jazz trio kind of vibe. So I had no synths, and I only double tracked here because I thought it was necessary, but I don't think I needed it. I could have actually kept it like... I need the bass though. Yeah, and on second thought, I think it would have sounded really cool if I didn't double track this, but oh well, it's whatever. Yeah, so then after this I went back into the chorus. Those drums tasty as fuck. Thank you, man. I have no clue when it comes to like programming jazz drums because I don't I haven't looked up like how to program jazz drums. Oh, this is something if you guys are ever wanting to practice drum programming, what I actually highly recommend you guys do is cover a song and then look up, or like you don't actually have to cover the song, but look up drum playthroughs and then just see what the drummers are hitting and then try to mimic that in the DAW. This is something that I learned a few years back when I was studying like how to write drum fills. And I ended up looking up like punk songs, like pop punk songs, like Blink 182 and shit like that. And like what was another song? Oh, All American Rejects. I was like listening to that kind of music and trying to figure out what they did for the drums. And The reason I chose those specific bands is because I knew that there was very simple but catchy grooves that I wanted to mimic, like possibly for future stuff. So I looked up those drums, and then I looked up like drum playthroughs, or either drum playthroughs or drum covers, because usually drum covers, they'll have both the entire kit and the kick, like a camera for the kick, so you guys know what kick patterns they're using. And yeah, I use that to learn how to program drums. So if you guys ever want to learn, or not learn, but practice drum programming, I think that's a really cool way to do it. Wow, they are cute in the best way possible. Thanks, man. Kawaii as fuck. My wrist wasn't killed for God that I would try to collab at some point. For good. Damn. Hope you get better, man. Like if it's like something that you could try like physical therapy for. But yeah, like if you ever want to collab, like just DM me and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, what I wanted to explain initially is this part here. So I knew that I wanted to have something that's synced up, like it sounds very much like a Pliny song here, and I knew that I wanted to do something like that. So I basically copied and pasted the entire chorus over, and then I was like, oh, there's something missing. I wanted to add that little part, so I snuck it in there, and that's just like a triplet thing that goes down and then goes back into the main melody. And then from there, I just improvised a solo over the monkey wrench riff. And of course, I had to add the lick in there. So, let me see. Is it this part? It's right here. Hey, got the riff in. So, yeah. I think that's basically the entire song. This is a very stripped down song. Like if you guys look at how many tracks there are, I only have the intro synths, 2 pads, and guitar reinforcement. Let me listen to what this is. Yeah, is literally, like, you can't hear it in the mix because the guitars are mainly at the forefront here. But I wanted like a little bit more spice at the top end. If you really pay attention, and because you guys know it's there, then you guys can sort of hear it, probably, maybe. But I didn't want this part to be very prominent in the mix anyway. And yeah, the synths in this song are actually really stripped down, which is a shame because it doesn't really do the chimp spanner thing. I think chimp spanner is very much like it is mainly a guitar focused project, but I feel like his songs are also really rich, which I don't think I achieved here. But at the end of the day, this is more of my sound, I guess. It's very raw, and I think it's still something that I'm proud to release. If not, like, I wouldn't have put it in the EP. Been to 7 different doctors. Shit, man. I'm sorry to hear that, but I think like music transcends like anything, right? Hopefully you still have, I'm pretty sure you still have like a deep appreciation for music. So if anything, if you still want to create, like, I think electronic stuff is super fun to do. Like the lo-fi track that I made for this EP initially, like I'll probably do a project rundown of that at some point, but it's actually on my work Mac still, so, and that thing can't stream, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. I might like bounce down the stems and just show you guys that, but I found that super fun, like making lo-fi music and stuff like that. So if you're still like looking to create, definitely explore like electronic music. Try to sample some Alpha Mist stuff and start a lo-fi. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, you should try. But yeah, I think that's it for this project. At least in terms of like how I wrote the guitar parts. In terms of the tones, let me see what I did for the jazz stuff. Corey Wong. Hell yeah. I love Corey Wong for cleans. But I'm pretty sure what I did is I rolled down the tone knob. So this is something, I know it's like a sin for a lot of metal guitarists, but if you guys want that hollow body jazz guitar sound, because right now it's way too sharp, but if you just roll down the tone knob, you instantly get like a hollow body guitar sound. And this is something I learned from Guthrie Govan. I'm pretty sure I was watching like a rig rundown of one of his like one of his rig rundowns, and then he did this, and then I was like, holy shit. Like you sort of get a hollow body sound. I'm gonna try and sleep now. I'm very drunk. No worries, man. Like, thank you so much for like tuning in on the stream. And I hope your hangover isn't that bad tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. This will be up on YouTube as VOD. So, yeah, again, thanks for sticking around and watching my stream. But yeah, if you guys want to get like a jazz guitar sound, just roll down the tone knob. It's insane. Super fun. Oh yeah, and roll down the tone knob and use the neck pickup. And then you'll get... You sort of have to like find a balance between just enough attack and having it completely rolled off. Like here is about like where I would put it. Love you too, man. Yeah, super hollow body sounds like on a super strat. Which is how I got the tones here. So I used Corey Wong and then rolled down the volume, the tone knob. And then for the other clean guitars, yeah, it's Corey Wong again. Just using the default setting, I think. I'm pretty sure it's not the default setting though. Let me check. Because I think the default setting, it uses the... Hold on. Should I do this? Well, I'm not going to save the project, right? So... Oh, it is the default setting. Is it? Let me double check the EQ. Yeah. I think it's the exact same settings. So yeah, I just used the default setting on Corey Wong. And then I got... I rolled down the tone knob for that hollow body sound. And then that's the clean guitars. Let me see. The gent, I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah. So I'm using... I love this plugin. I'm using the Omega Ampworks Granifier. It's super chunky. I mean, I can't demo it for you guys right now because I'm using the Quad Cortex, but it's super chunky in the low end. And it has a very, like, sizzly top end. It's not, how would I say it? It's very much like a rhythm guitar, like a modern metal rhythm guitar kind of amp. Whereas, let me think. I think a lot of people would probably compare this to Neural DSP's, what's that plugin called? The one that Buster uses from Humanity's Last Breath. Nameless. Yeah, it's probably closest to Nameless, but it's a little bit more versatile, in my opinion, because it has more tubes. It's like different characters, and it's all like it's just high gain tones, but I love it. It's so good. So yeah, let's listen to that soloed. I can't mute the synths for some reason. Okay. Yeah, super pronounced attack. Like around the 2K to 4K range. Super sizzly. Love this sound. And then for the leads, I'm using Archetype Pliny, which is like if I had one neural DSP plugin to recommend for anyone and you're doing any sort of music, Archetype Pliny is probably one of the ones I'd recommend most. John Petrucci, Archetype John Petrucci is probably like second place. I don't have it, but that's because I have way too many neural DSP plugins already. I'm pretty sure I don't need it. But if I wanted one that's just super versatile, John Petrucci is probably the one I would go for. Neural DSP sending Tidal. Yeah, it's super chunky. And leads, let's listen to that solo. Yeah, pretty sure this isn't the default. Yeah, so I did change this. So I used this amp, turned on the bright switch, and gave it a very nasal mid-range. Because I do enjoy like a very warm mid-range for leads. I think in the mix it pokes out more, even though there's not a lot of high end. So I generally like to boost mids when I design lead tones, but I took out some of the more egregious honky tones at like around 300 to 600. This is specific to this guitar, I think. Just the pickups sound a little bit more nasal on that range. But for my AZ, I hate like the 500 hertz range for some reason. It like on the AZ, it sounds super nasally in that range. And I usually cut that to give that top end more girth. And yeah, I boosted 2K because again, like around that 2K to 2.5K range for guitars, at least for leads, to cut through a gent guitar mix. I find that that's where it sits best. And Soothe 2, because I put Soothe 2 on everything. Not exactly the best technique, because I find that it does... it makes everything sound really surgical. But I was in a rush, and I slapped Soothe 2 on everything anyway, so whatever. For the top lead, it's exactly the same. I just duplicated this, the lead part, and played an octave. Let's see, what else is there? What's this? Tappity 2. So for the tapping tones, articulate lead again. And then I used an auto panner and a flanger because I knew I wanted this effect here. And there isn't a flanger here. Yeah, so this is maybe like if I had Petrucci. I think Petrucci has a flanger. So like I might have not needed to use it, but I think this preset just sounds good on everything. Like I like the way it cuts through a dense mix. And I put an auto pan for like a single bar, and then a flanger. I'm pretty, yeah, these are like the ones that Cubase has. I'm just using the Cubase ones, and it sounds good to me, so I just kept it in. Didn't use anything fancy here. And I think that's it for guitar tones. Super simple. I didn't have a lot of layers here. And for Omnisphere, I had 3 synths, I think. And then, oh no, I had 4 synths. And then I automated 2 of the synths to come in a little bit later. Yeah, so like that like telephone distortion, like bit crushed kind of sound. It automates in a little later. And yeah, so I think that's this patch, and then I didn't want that frequency to get in the way of anything, so I just muted it straight away and then just kept the main riff there. And then for pads, let me see what I'm using. I'm using Finishing Move. Damn, yeah, so I really do ride Misha's dick really hard. Because I'm pretty sure I saw it on his stream. And I thought, holy shit, that sounds insane. And then I stacked it with like Ethereal Earth, which is a Contact. I think they give it free with Contact Player. But it's like a pretty decent synth, I think. At least in my opinion. And then I put Woodchester piano on everything as well. So here, again, I'm maxing out the Ache and Dream and Clouds layers. And the actual piano, I'm basically like muting it. Like I don't have a need for a piano on this particular track. So I just wanted it to I just wanted the pads. And then for the guitar reinforcement, I'm using Omnisphere again, but I'm using like an 8-bit sound for this. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me listen to this. So this is like Post-Human, Ethereal Earth, and the Woodchester piano synths. Super grimy. And then I have like a top synth, like a top pad where it's higher frequencies stacked on top of that. And then I go into this, which is supposed to accent the guitars. And then yeah, for the chorus, I just left the pads in and then just chords. So actually super simple. Let me see what I use for the chorus pads though. Omnisphere again. Just 2 cents? 3 cents. Yeah. And that's it for the drums. In case you guys missed the Arrival stream, this is the exact same kit. It's just GGD Modern and Massive mixed with the P4 kit. And I found out why I have this extra rack tom here, because I'm used to having 2 rack toms actually. So I have one rack tom here and another rack tom here, like a more high tuned one. It's not actually stacked like I initially assumed. So it's a rack tom 1, rack tom 2, and then floor. But I do blend in the snare and the kick, and I never use the mini hats, but it's there just in case. And then the stack I use occasionally, but mainly it's Modern and Massive. Again, it's like one of those, like, if I had to recommend one drum kit and you guys wanted to pay for it, this is the one I would go for. It's one of the, it's like I initially, when I first saw the kit, when I first heard the kit, like in the demo song, when the ad came out, I was like, holy shit, that's the drum sound in my head. That's literally the sound in my head, which I think that's what the track for the ad's called. And I just bought it immediately. So I can't recommend this enough if you guys are looking for a drum sound. Let's see, what else is there? The mix. Again, I'm not the greatest mixing engineer, but let's see what I did. EQ on everything, of course, required. Virtual mix rack. I think I didn't go through my virtual mix rack chain last time, but I'll do it now. So basically, there are two ways I approach this plugin. Either I have it on stock and then I just add a compressor, or I delete everything and then add a compressor and I leave this EQ. For this, I decided to leave everything in because I was sort of pressed on time, so I didn't want to fuss around with like the signal chain or anything. But most of the time I use this, which is the modern 1116. No idea what it's based off of. Maybe it's like 1176. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not it because this is 1176, right? So I have no clue what this is based off of. I don't have a vast knowledge of outboard gear or compressors. But this is the one I usually use for drums. I don't know. I just like the way it sounds. Like once you add it on drums. Wait, hold on. What is this from? Omnisphere. Yeah. So I just find that as a general compressor, I like this as well, but sometimes I think for guitars I usually use this one, not the modern one. I usually use the black one, which I have no clue what the difference is. Let's see. Authentic recreation of the classic American FET compressor. I see. So it's a FET compressor, which oddly enough, I have a FET compressor from Softtube, but I use that on my parallel compression bus. Usually, just because again it's like a Misha thing, where you just max out everything, max out all the big knobs. So that's what I do for parallel compression, but everything else is just this compressor. I did put Saturn, so for drum processing. For something that's super aggressive, I like to put Saturn on and then boost whatever this range is, like the upper mids, just to give it that like that clicky kind of sound. I do that for both the kick and the snare, but I'm pretty sure I have it for different ranges. Yeah. And then what's this? Snare bottom. So I'm pretty sure I just copied it over and then just turned these off. And what else is there? I put virtual mix rack on every part of the snare, every part of the drums, but I change out some of the settings basically. And then I have a bass bus, a drum bus, guitar bus, synth bus, and do even more processing, even more EQs. But yeah, I think that's it. Oh, for the master chain, this is the VBCFG gray, flatline EQ and limiter. This I think I basically took from what's his name? Holy shit. The guy behind Submission Audio. The one who masters all of like Periphery's tracks and stuff. Is it Herman? Pretty sure it's Herman. I don't remember his full name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure I stole this technique from him. And yeah, that's it. That's Apes Together Strong. So again, thank you all for checking out the stream. There was a lot more chat, even though my chat's broken. Now you guys can see the chat. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in. And the next stream will be next Saturday. I'm not sure whether I'll be awake at the same time. Hopefully it's sometime where you guys can watch it. If not, the VOD's going to be on YouTube. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. And tune in next week for the last song of the EP. Thank you all for tuning in. 感谢你的介绍，谢谢你来看我的直播，and yeah, tune in next time. Peace.